Although humans have evolved over a long time to possess advanced intelligence beyond all other creatures, in terms of lifespan, humans are only average compared to other species on Earth. Even with modern medicine, only a few humans live to be 100 years old. The truly long-lived species often live in the depths of the ocean, surviving without any medical help and easily living for hundreds or even tens of thousands of years. Number 10. The tuatara, 120 years old. The tuatara is a lizard species unique to New Zealand, with an average lifespan of about 60 years. But today we're introducing a very unique tuatara who broke his lifespan limit, not only setting a new record for his species but doubling it. Let's take a look at this tuatara named Henry, who at 120 years old is still full of vigor. Even more shocking, this long-lived lizard once had cancer. In 2008, the keeper found a malignant tumor around Henry's reproductive organ. Before that, at 111 years old, he had not yet fathered any offspring. Henry always showed extreme dislike and anger toward his mate, even aggressively biting off his tail. But after the tumor was removed and the cancer cured, Henry, having narrowly escaped death, underwent a complete personality change, as if he became a brand new lizard. He officially reconciled with his mate, and together they had 11 offspring. Henry is still alive and healthy today, happily living with his 3 wives and continuously setting new longevity records in the lizard community. Some scientists even suspect that some mutation of cancer cells might have given this special lizard its incredible lifespan. Number 9. The bowhead whale, 221 years old. You might not know what the longest living mammal on Earth is. It's not the land giant elephant, nor the ocean giant blue whale. It's actually the mysterious and rare bowhead whale. The story happened in 2007 when fishermen caught a bowhead whale and found a harpoon stuck in its head. What's incredible is that this harpoon was only manufactured between 1879 and 1885. Researchers examined the specimen and determined that the whale was about 211 years old when it died. This makes the male bowhead whale one of the longest living mammals ever recorded, and the only mammal on Earth known to live over 200 years. They mainly live in the deep waters of the Arctic and Antarctic seas, are huge in size, with adult individuals averaging 15 to 20 meters in length and weighing between 60 to 100 tons. Experts believe the bowhead whale's long lifespan is due to living in cold northern waters, where food is scarce. So they evolved to always maintain a thick layer of fat reserves. Plus, the cold environment helps lower their body temperature, which has anti-aging effects and extends their lifespan while reducing energy consumption, allowing them to live incredibly long lives. As a result, more and more scientists are now trying to explore the possibility of extending human lifespan through ultra-low temperature research. Number 8. The koi fish Hanako, who lived 226 years. Generally, koi live about 25 to 35 years. But in Japan, a koi named Hanako lived an astonishing 226 years, surviving over 2 centuries and becoming a longevity icon in the koi world. Hanako wasn't specially protected or kept in any high-tech environment. She simply lived in a temple pond in Shizuoka Prefecture, Japan. Hanako's last owner said that she was passed down from his grandmother like a family heirloom and was always a close friend and part of the family. To confirm Hanako's age, a professor from Nagoya Women's University's Animal Science Lab plucked 2 scales from different parts of her body with tweezers and analyzed them under a microscope for 2 months, concluding she was 215 years old, more than twice as old as any known koi. Hanako then lived another 10 years and finally passed away on July 7, 1977 at the age of 226. After discovering Hanako's advanced age, scientists also analyzed 5 other koi in the same pond and found that all of them lived over 100 years. However, the reason for their longevity remains inconclusive according to scientists. The key may be that they lived in clean mountain spring water and received ample care and attention from their owner. Number 7. The giant tortoise, who lived 255 years. It's well known that turtles are very long-lived creatures, and the Aldabra giant tortoise is a longevity champion among them, with an average lifespan of 120 years, and some exceptional individuals surpassing 200 years. Historically, the longest-lived giant tortoise was named Adwaita, weighing about 250 kilograms. He was originally gifted to Lord Clive and was caught by a British sailor near the Seychelles Islands off Madagascar. Adwaita was born around 1750 and didn't pass away until 2006. At 255 years old, he became the longest-lived land animal in the world, and likely the longest-lived land creature ever on Earth. So far, no one can explain why he lived so long, since he spent his later years in the Alipore Zoo in Kolkata, India. He lived just like any ordinary giant tortoise, eating regular tortoise food. He had a normal tortoise life, yet for some unknown reason, he outlived every other ordinary giant tortoise. Frankly, if it weren't for an accident, he might still be alive today. In 2005, a crack appeared on his shell. Without proper treatment, it quickly became infected. Within a year, Adwaita died from the illness, Number 6. Minka. 507 years old. Minka is the name of a Greenland clam, the longest living multicellular organism known so far. Named Minga because it was born during the Ming Dynasty's Wanli period in China. In 2006, researchers abroad found and collected over 3,000 empty shells and 34 live specimens off the coast of Iceland in the North Atlantic, including Minga, which was about 8.6 centimeters long. Since being caught and brought ashore by humans, it was kept in a freezer awaiting further study. Unfortunately, researchers forcibly opened its shell to study its age, and during the process, its life signs gradually faded until it died. Yes, it sacrificed itself for science and was forever frozen at 507 years old. During its lifetime, human civilization saw the European plague, the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, and 2 world wars. This tragedy drew many expressions of mourning and criticism of the researchers' harsh methods. Many online users like to call it the ocean mystery in Iceland's reign. As the name suggests, no one knows how this Greenland clam lived so long. After all, it couldn't really move inside its shell. Even more mysterious is that to this day, we still don't know if Minga was male or female, because it was so old. Its reproductive organs no longer functioned, making it impossible to determine. Think about it, Greenland clams are the main ingredient in clam chowder, a favorite in the U.S. Northeast. It's easy to imagine that while Americans enjoy their chowder, they might hope that tasting such a long-lived creature could grant them longevity too. Number 5. Greenland shark, 512 years old. A biologist at the University of Copenhagen unexpectedly discovered a Greenland shark aged 512 years. That means it was swimming in the ocean long before Shakespeare was born. Back then, the United States didn't even exist. You have to admit, this shark really pushed the limits of lifespan. But because it lived at depths of 2,000 meters, its eyes had long since degenerated. And so far, scientists have only found this one Greenland shark of such an extraordinary age. Over time, all its peers died out long ago, making it arguably the loneliest shark in the world. Greenland sharks mainly live in the North Atlantic and Arctic regions, growing up to 7.3 meters long and weighing as much as 180 kilograms. They typically move at only 30 centimeters per second, about 1 kilometer per hour. Clearly, they are slow-moving and relaxed creatures. Similarly, Greenland sharks grow very slowly, only about 1 centimeter per year, and they don't reach sexual maturity until nearly 160 years old. The mellow female Greenland sharks only give birth every few years, each time having just a few pups. Like whales, everything happens in slow motion. No wonder it takes them such a long time to finally grow old. Don't be fooled by the Greenland shark's goofy and cute appearance. They are truly terrifying creatures living at the top of the ocean food chain. Greenland sharks mainly feed on dolphins, and sometimes even hunt polar bears and sea turtles. So far, the Greenland shark remains a very mysterious marine animal, and it's unclear whether it's endangered. But with global warming and the destruction of ocean environments, the lives of all marine creatures on Earth are under threat. In 4th place, coral at 265 years old. Coral looks like colorful underwater rocks and plants, but they're actually made up of the exoskeletons of tiny invertebrate coral polyps. These coral polyps continuously reproduce and create genetically identical copies to replace themselves. Over time, the coral's exoskeleton structure grows larger, and corals can live for hundreds of years or more. Black coral is among the longest living corals. Its name comes from its black or dark brown skeleton, though its tissues are brightly colored. Reportedly off the coast of Hawaii, a father discovered a black coral estimated to be 265 years old. That means it has existed since the Old Kingdom of ancient Egypt. These corals are the oldest corals in the world, and the oldest marine communities known so far. Such great age shows that coral skeleton growth is much slower than people imagine. Researchers found only a 10-micron thin layer on the outermost part of the coral skeleton. That means in the past 50 years, the coral has only grown 10 microns thicker. A university professor from Texas said that slow growth is the secret to corals' long life. The tiny coral polyps living in these skeletons are only a few years old, meaning coral polyps have been renewing here for hundreds or even thousands of years. Meanwhile, the supporting skeletons have been building up around them for thousands of years. Scientists can provide important information about climate change and Earth's evolution by sampling and studying coral. In 3rd place, sponge at 11,000 years old. Everyone knows SpongeBob, the funny and adorable cartoon character. But you might not know that sponges are also some of the longest living organisms on Earth. Adult sponges can even live for over 10,000 years. The sponges we're talking about here aren't the kind you use to wash dishes in daily life, but one of the most primitive multicellular animals. They appeared on Earth 600 million years ago. Today, there are over 10,000 species, and the longest living sponge is called the glass sponge. This sponge has survived and reproduced for 11,000 years, although it's a deep-sea creature with almost no natural predators. Such a long lifespan is still pretty incredible. The glass sponge gets its name from its glass-like skeleton, and like coral, it's also made up of animal communities. To some extent, they're like cities on the seafloor. Wherever they grow, they always attract other marine life. Sponges have an extremely strong ability to regenerate. Not only can they repair damaged or lost parts, but they can also form a new adult from fragments, or even a single cell. When the environment is unfavorable, sponges break into small fragments, each made up of a cluster of primordial cells wrapped by flat cells. They wait until conditions improve to grow back into sponges. Since sponges don't have a central control organ and their cells can move, it's hard to tell individuals from groups. The lifespan of a glass sponge actually depends on its size. A tiny sponge may live only a few years, but a glass sponge a meter wide can live for thousands of years. If it gets even bigger, living tens of thousands of years is possible. That's the length of 2 civilizations. Imagine, from human agricultural civilization to today's information age, a sponge's lifetime might still not be over. Second place, the prehistoric nematode, 42,000 years old. Prehistoric nematodes were obviously tougher than today's. Or how else can we explain a bunch of worms frozen for years suddenly coming back to life after thawing? Like something out of a sci-fi movie. This actually happened. In July 2018, a group of Russian scientists teamed up with Princeton University to analyze about 300 nematodes buried in 17 layers of Siberian permafrost. The scientists thawed the worms, hoping for some scientific discoveries. What they got was almost a miracle. 2 of the nematodes started moving after thawing. Even more surprisingly, they began to eat. They truly came back to life. Tests showed both were female nematodes. Dating confirmed one was about 32,000 years old, while the other was 42,000 years old. For a while, they became the oldest known multicellular creatures on Earth. Although most of the time they were frozen, once revived, their lifespan is only about 4 months. They were originally hibernating peacefully, but now they've been sacrificed for science. Unless scientists think ahead and refreeze them, so they can be thawed and studied again 50,000 years from now. First place, the immortal jellyfish, 100,000 years old. There's a carnivorous jellyfish living in tropical seas that, upon reaching a certain age, can actually reverse aging. Its body shrinks, age goes backwards, it truly achieves immortality. This is the immortal jellyfish. Generally, there are over 250 species of jellyfish. Most jellyfish die right after sexual reproduction, but not the immortal jellyfish. After reproducing sexually, it can revert from adulthood back to its juvenile stage. This process, called cellular transdifferentiation in biology, makes it one of the few creatures that can live indefinitely. As it ages, the immortal jellyfish reproduces, then halts its body's aging process. It slowly turns back into its immature stage. Over time, it grows back into an adult jellyfish and reproduces again. What's even more amazing is it can do this over and over at will. So, whenever the immortal jellyfish wants to become young again, it just needs to reproduce. You might wonder, if that's true, why hasn't this species overrun the oceans? That's because the immortal jellyfish has very weak immunity and is highly vulnerable to bacteria and viruses. Hunger or temperature changes lower its immune defenses. When immunity is low, infections cause severe damage, often leading to death. But because of their huge population base, the strongest individuals have lifespans exceeding 100,000 years, far longer than all of human civilization. Maybe one day in the future, humans will master the technology to reverse aging and truly live forever. Alright, that's all for this episode. Which of the 10 animals we shared today impressed you the most? Feel free to let us know in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share to support me to create more interesting content. Thank you for your support.